All right. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. This morning, we're going to talk about how people think you can rise to the occasion, but that is not necessarily true. We're going to talk about how it really works. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life. And then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning to you. Sorry, I'm a little tardy this morning. Every single thing that was going on this morning was running a little bit late. So it's just one of those mornings. Any rate, good morning to you guys. Thank you for being here. I wanted to talk about this morning. I was actually listening to something on my way in this morning and kind of just, struck a nerve with me, just kind of reminded me of everything that, just kind of the way that everything works with people. And we've been talking a lot about discipline recently. And I want to talk a little bit more about that this morning on this topic. And what I was listening to is there was something, it was saying that basically people think that they can rise to the occasion. And the reality is that that's not true. And we're going to talk about exactly why that's not true and why it's so important for you to create and maintain a level of discipline in your life. What you do consistently is what's going to create the results in your life. What you do every once in a while is not gonna move the needle very much. So I want to say good morning to some folks. My wife's on here. She was the first one. Good morning, babe. David Martin, good morning to you. Jared, good morning. Cindy, Trisha, Dean, Deo, what's happening, man? Good morning to you. Doug, good morning to you. Tammy Clark here as always. Thank you for being here. Dave, good morning to you. Carla, good morning. I hope you're having an amazing week as well. Cam Roberts, good morning to you. So let's talk about this for a minute. So, the comment that was made in this clip that I was listening to was that, people think that they can rise to the occasion. And the reality is that the simple way to put it is you do not rise to any occasion. You rise to the level of preparation and discipline that you have. And that is why so many people have, so many ups and downs in your life, right? And, the inconsistency and that kind of feeling of things being out of control. And, I was spending a couple minutes thinking about that as I was listening to that clip. And what really kind of caught me was like, I used to feel like that, I used to feel that kind of up and down and that uneasiness and that, feeling like you had to, kind of rise to the occasion to be able to perform at the level that you wanted to. And it's over the last handful of years here that I've really doubled down on, just routine and discipline. And I'm far from, where I really want to be in a lot of ways. But I remember what it felt like to be, very inconsistent, to feel that like need to rise to the occasion. And I think that it's important for everyone to kind of look at these areas of your life because there's always going to be some that aren't exactly where you want them to be, right? And realizing that, over a period of time, that's how you change things, And in the world today, there's far too many things out there, that, lose 30 pounds in 30 days or, do some trick to get the results a little bit faster. And, those things are very misleading because they don't lead to sustainable results. And the reason is they don't change any behaviors. So, certainly you can, do a program and it might get you some results. You might be able to double down on sales activity for a short period of time and get some sales in the door or increase the traffic in your business or, whatever it may be. You can do anything for a short period of time. But the reality is that is not going to create sustainable results. What is going to create sustainable results is what you commit to doing regularly every single day or very frequently, right? There are a lot of things in this world that are distractions. There are things that people tell us, hey, you can do this, and this is an easier way. And what I've learned over my 41 years of being on this earth is that, typically the shortcut is the long way. If you want to understand how to do something, don't be in such a hurry to understand. Take your time, be committed, be disciplined to that process, because the reality is that you can only rise to a level that you're capable of rising, that you have practiced in the past, right? So, for me, use an example of, running meetings for sales, meeting with customers, meeting with prospects, and trying to convert those people into customers. And, years ago, I remember, walking into those meetings and just having that, and having a confidence, but also having that nervous feeling like, I wasn't 100% confident. I knew my stuff. I was prepared. I always, went through the process to get to that point. But over a period of 20 years of being in sales, there's not a meeting that I walk into today that I feel uncomfortable in. There's not a conversation typically that I get engaged in that I'm not comfortable with, because I've been through a lot more. It doesn't mean I've experienced everything. It doesn't mean that there aren't times that I'm unsure of what to do, but I don't get that same feeling, and it's because I've put in so many reps with regard to sales. I've been told no probably more times than most people on this planet. I've been told not right now more times than probably most people on this planet. I've heard every objection that there is to hear in sales, and so I'm prepared for those things, right? I don't rise to the occasion. I rise to my level of experience. I think that that's really important for us to realize, is that, it is genuinely, what you're going to feel comfortable with, what you're going to succeed in and really win at in this world is what you commit to doing every single day. There's people on here that are experts at all kinds of things. And I'm thinking of, as I look at the comments on this stream, and I could point out those gifts, those things that somebody is just exceptional at from a conversation with them. And you can just tell because there's a level of comfort there. And I think, again, far too often in our world, we're just told that there's some easier way, that, somehow you can take, the shortcut and get this result, or you can move ahead 5 years in experience by doing X, Y, Z. And it doesn't work that way. There is no substitute for experience. There's no substitute for discipline. It is what you show up to do every single day. I saw in here that Trisha said, I think this message was intended for me. Consistency is key. And I just want to remind you that most of these messages that I deliver, they are as much for me as they are for you guys. It is, no matter how far ahead you are or how much you might lack experience, these conversations are always a great reminder. Wherever you are on the journey, if you're just starting out to try to figure out one section of your life, or you've done it for a long time and you just need a reminder, these messages are good for all of us, because we go through life every day, right? And there's difficulties and there's challenges and there's distractions and there's things that are thrown in front of us, hurdles that we have to jump over every single day that might distract us from what's really important. And so how do you create consistency? How do you create that discipline? And how do you allow yourself to rise to a higher level comfortably? I would tell you that, number one, it's a game. It's you versus you. And you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look in the mirror and figure out exactly who you are right now, who you want to be. And you got to be willing to put in the work by yourself, with nobody. Motivation is great, but it doesn't last forever. discipline lasts forever. Discipline lasts forever. What you teach yourself, what you hold yourself accountable to, that lasts forever. And so I want you guys to remember that, number one, it's you versus you. And number two, who you surround yourself with matters. Those people that you have conversations with matter, because they are contributing or taking away from that confidence, that motivation, that state of mind that you're in. And everybody's had that point in their life where they've had a lot of momentum and they've had a conversation with someone and it kind of deflated them, right? And you want to be careful about who you're having those conversations with, because those people out there that don't want the best for others, and there are, unfortunately, those people are out there, they can throw a huge wrench in your progress of creating this discipline, because it's a lot easier to not be disciplined. It's a lot easier to make promises that you don't keep to yourself. It's a lot easier to say you're going to do something and then give yourself an excuse as to why you didn't. And by the way, we all do that. Nobody's an exception to that. Even the very, very best in the world of discipline, they don't do every single thing that they commit to. So just remember that, give yourself some credit when you're winning. Don't be too hard on yourself when you're losing. But ultimately, remember, you do not rise to the occasion. You rise to the level of discipline that you have. You rise to the level of experience and the level of comfort you create for yourself by putting yourself in uncomfortable positions. So you're able to get in an uncomfortable position, stay there until ultimately that's comfortable for you. Now you've kind of hit another level, right? And that is that's an important part of life. Do the hard things first. When you have a choice of what to do, always choose the more difficult way and life will get easy. If you always choose the easy way, life gets more difficult. So that's it for this morning, guys. I hope this message finds all of you well. I hope everybody's having a great week. Tomorrow is episode number 250 of this show. So I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate the support, man. It's super cool, man. It never gets old. Every morning I turn this thing on and I click live and I sit there and I'm like, man, I wonder how many people are going to show up this morning. And the numbers just start climbing up, and then the comments start flowing in, and everybody starts talking back and forth and sharing their thoughts. And I have a lot of gratitude for all of you that show up here and support what I'm doing. It means a lot to me, and it helps my life, and I hope that it helps yours. So I hope you guys have an awesome Thursday, and I will see you again tomorrow morning. Same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys.